How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Riddle Joker. Now, comments you guys said last time, apparently last week was a pretty pivotal decision. Where we go to lunch, I'm guessing, is the one. And apparently I made a choice that's probably locking us into a path. Now, here's the thing. I don't know. You guys were vague enough, and thankfully no one's spoiling anything for me. I just didn't realize I was making such a pivotal decision at the time. To be fair, it's not like it's televised of how pivotal that decision was going to be. The thing I'm worried about is remember how I said from the beginning, I don't want to go down the sister route. What if that's when I've just locked myself down? Don't spoil it for me if not. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's not the case. I will find out. But you know what? That's my policy. I do by one ending on the channel. So if that's what we go down, that's what we go down. It'd be super ironic if that's what happened, but yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your comments. I'm really interested to see what happens today. The last episode was pretty slow, but now we're on our mission again. We're heading out. We're going to get some more information from the computers. We've been asked to could sneak back into that room. But now that security stuff's kind of settled down, and it looks like some of the additional security features aren't going to be too rough for us to circumvent, we are now on our mission with our sister to go and infiltrate and get that information extracted. So let's see if anything spicy happens this time. I don't know. We'll have to see. So far it seems pretty calm and straightforward, so we're just going to go through and we'll see what we dig up. So anyway, sit back, relax, hope you're enjoying yourself, and let's get started. Now that I'm changed into my SDF uniform, I check how my body's holding up. I feel no pain anywhere. My ability... Yep, it's working properly. I wouldn't have any issues without it. I won't have any issues with it during the mission. I checked the camera locations during lunch and found a safe, secure route. Oh, and I got the Astron authenticity key with me too. Couldn't forget that.
確認したけど、ネットワーク上のセキュリティも強化された様子はないよ。
Good, good. Not me. Everything's looking pretty much squared away. Sweet. As long as we don't get caught by security guys, this will be a cinch. Don't say that. It's asking for trouble. Alright, what do we got in? I hold the card key up to the sensor. The sensor responds a lot quicker this time compared to last time when we used the fiber sheet. I'm almost worried that she's realized that somebody's sneaking in and she's gonna set up a means to figure out who it is rather than anything else. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to figure out if it just makes a log of whenever the door opens. That alone could be a problem, but Nanami says she's got that kind of stuff squared away, so I'm guessing it's not going to be an issue. But you'd think that would be something that they would do, is log very important doors, especially with specialized access, just so they know when they're accessed. I hear the noise of the door unlocking with a fraction of a second.
よかった。ちゃんとカードキーが使えるみたいで。
Yep, no more secret bathhouse missions.
前回みたいにシートでアストラルをコピーするなんてことになったらどうしようかと。
I don't know though, with her being so touchy-feely lately, it might not be that difficult. You and me both. Hope I never have to go through that nightmare again.
兄弟揃って学生生活が終了しなくてよかったね。
Well, we'll see. You have yet. Do not underestimate my powers. I know, right? So yeah, what about the AIMS database? Anything changed since last time?
ちょっと待ってね。大丈夫。エイムスのセキュリティも変わってないみたい。これなら前みたいにすぐ調べられそう。
Nanami, I know we're great and all, but isn't this feeling a little too easy? Great, work your magic.
名前は鎌倉久人で合ってるよね。
The other is Asukai Kara. I walk over to the window to see if anything's going on outside. Nope, not a single sign of movement. It doesn't seem like we've been noticed, and no intruders either, like last time.
出たよ、サトルくん。でもこれ。
Does something stand out?
見る限りは特に。前科があるわけでもないし、警察にマークされてるわけでもないし。
Oh, neither were the names that we looked at last time.
鎌倉さんはライトレールの整備士で、アスカイさんはネイリスト。二人とも能力を生かして鷲津研究都市で働いてたみたい。
So they used to use their abilities, but now they have normal mundane jobs. Where are they now and what are they doing?
それがわからない。調べられないんだよ。
So it's not very comprehensive. What? How's that possible?
行方不明になってる。
Oh, crap. They're missing. Not just one, but both.
二人とも行方不明。
Okay, that is a little disturbing. Can you look into any other information on them? I don't care how minor, just anything that might clue us into what happened to them.
了解。
That, like, when was the last confirmed location? That could be important. Both the Astrals that we were told to investigate are missing. And somehow, I don't think it's a coincidence. Maybe they're agents of the organization, and the organization is curious to see how much information is on this database. That could be, I could see that being an actual, like, a point of interest for that, or for an organization that's like so special secret ops, you know? No,
Riddle Joker!
yeah, I was expecting something to go wrong, but apparently not.
そうか。行方不明か。
We tried to see if we could figure out anything else, but that was it.
わかった。ご苦労だったな。
Is this bad news?
わからん。こっちもまだ把握しきれていないんだ。
Okay, so either he's not telling us everything, or there's something a lot more serious going on. What's going on?
それは、
Is it top secret information?
そういうわけじゃないが、いや、そうだな。耳には入れておいた方がいいだろう。
So either it's a needs to know basis, or more frightening, it's a very heavy concern of ours.
だがこれはあくまで未確定な情報だ。先走って勝手に動くんじゃないぞ。
Oh boy. Of course, if I learn anything, I'll report it to you first and foremost.
さっきも言った通り、こっちもまだ調査中の情報なんだが、今回の2人、例の襲撃と関わりを持つ可能性がある。
How? Why? Did you find something new?
いや、連中は最後までファンだと言い張り、結局警察もそのように処理した。捜査しても何も出てこなかったんだろう。
Why would Astrals want to somehow get involved around the person who's like the poster child of Astrals, you know? That definitely seems very odd.
もちろん、うちでもいろいろ調べてみた。だが、何もつかめなかった。連中の正体も、目的も、その背景も。
Are there no organizations that have shown recent surges in activity or anything?
ない。国内外問わず、引っかからない。
That actually is kind of disturbing. Like, if you have an organization that's making concerted efforts and they're they're capable of being this shadowed, that would imply either like a almost cult-like following where everyone is very much like in line with like the directives, or they would be state-backed, you know, having funding and access to resources that can keep them under the radar. Both not great options.
だが、そこで気づいた。同じような事件があっても気づいていない可能性があるんじゃないか。
Oh. Never mind then. If they're not involved, but instead they're part of like a astral kidnapping ring of some kind, or even like an astral cleansing program. Oh gosh, that's terrifying. So was that the reason you had us check on those two?
こっちで追うのが難しくなって、エイムスで確認をしてもらったんだ。
Did you expect them to be missing?
悪い意味でな。
So it's like we didn't want to find out, but we kind of thought that might be the case.
鷲津研究都市に住む複数のアストラル使いが行方不明になっている。
That's disturbing. So it's more than just those two.
いる。少なくない数のアストラル使いがな。
Oh gosh. And the thing is too, we have this technology, right, where we can use technology that can like effectively give you access to astral abilities without like the astrals being there, right? So what if this is some kind of program where they're harvesting astrals essentially to take their powers and utilize them for themselves? I actually would be surprised if that hasn't already become a thing, because we technically are benefiting from that as well.
ある日、誰にも何も言わずに消えるらしい。さながら神隠しにでもあったみたいにな。
Right. And you think there's a connection between these mass disappearances and the attack on Mitsukaze-san?
あくまで可能性であって決めつけるのは早計だ。だが偶然と思い込むのも楽観が過ぎるだろうな。
If these astrals really were kidnapped without a trace, then there's a real possibility some big name organization behind them. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
ない とは言えない。ここまで情報が出ないとなると。
Yeah, the lack of evidence could indicate government backing. Just because if there were evidence to be cropped up, they would be able to most likely make it disappear. But what would you want? What would they want with Mitsukaze-san? Sure, she's an Astral, but she's just a normal girl.
それだけの価値が彼女にはある。いや、正確には価値があるのは彼女の能力だが。
Right. Field manipulation. Attraction and repulsion. I don't see what's so special about it, honestly.
単純に物を引き寄せたり弾いたりするだけじゃない。
I mean, it's like you're talking operational fundamental forces. If you can extrapolate it to the point of like fullness, I imagine you could do things like launch spacecraft into orbit without expending fuel. Like, there's a lot you could do with like it's essentially gravitation or magnetism, but it likely doesn't have the limitations of gravitation or magnetism, namely being magnetism to be properly applied needs a lot of like almost insane amounts of energy. And gravitation, you need large gravitational bodies. If you can have the effects of gravity without a large gravitational mass, especially if you could mass produce that, that's insane. That's like a key step to space travel, really. That's like warp engines. That's like space flight without expensive fuel costs. Like there's so much you could do with that if you could apply it like I'm thinking.
非常に強力な引力を利用すればブラックホールを作り、果ては時間の流れにだって干渉することができるかもしれない。
Alright, that's taking it to the extreme, but again, he's got a point where like if there's no real cap to it and like the energy isn't necessary, like you don't need energy reciprocally to do it. Like essentially it circumvents the natural like, you know, can't create energy from nothing, but Astrons can pull so much energy just from themselves and their environment that like they don't need exterior sports. Like that is potentially possible, but I don't know. That's taking it to such an extreme. I don't know. Would anyone be insane enough to actually try that? Probably. A black hole. That's ridiculous. Just imagine the amount of power you'd need to do that.
わかっている。アストラル能力は脳とリンクして生み出されるエネルギーを利用したもの。つまり脳の機能の一部だ。人間にできることには限界がある。
Right, but we don't understand it enough.
だが、その限界を自分で調べないことには認めたがらない連中もいるんだよ。
Right.
そして調べている最中に新たな発見があるかもしれない。そんな嬉しい誤算を望む連中もな。
So this is like applied brute force science, the fun kind of like lab testing and yeah, oof. So that's what they want her for? That's why they want her?
同じ能力を有するアストラル使いを見つけるよりもさらう方が手っ取り早いからな。まあこれも全部想像でしかない。俺たちの知らない何かがあってもおかしくない。
Right.
とはいえ、この話はあくまで可能性の一つだ。
But if she's somehow pivotal to their plans, which because they went to some pretty extraordinary efforts to try and kidnap her, there is a good chance they'll try again. They're just gonna wait until things cool down, which it has started to, so we probably should be getting on our toes.
逆にこちらの網に引っかからないぐらい小規模な組織の可能性だってある。
True, but if that's the case, then they're not only small, but they're surgical. And if they're surgical, that also warrants, because remember, they were professionals, so small surgical organizations can be far more dangerous because they're just so inherently difficult to track down.
こちらも引き続き調査を行うが、時間がかかるかもしれん。たとえわずかでも手がかりがあれば違うんだが。
Right.
とにかく焦って勝手に動くんじゃないぞ。連絡を待て。
Yes. All right, well, that's a lot of food for thought. Satoru-kun. Hey, Nanami. Good morning.
おはよう。それで昨日のことなんだけど、お父さんに報告した？
Yeah, he told me a few things. But now's not a good time. See, look at your friends here.
あ、先輩。おはようございます。
Hey, Chisaki.
ななみちゃんもおはよう。おはよう、ちさきちゃん。どうかした？こんなところで。朝食はもう食べたの？まだだよ。なら一緒に食べようよ。
I'll tell you about it later.
もしかして私、 お邪魔しました。
Nothing important. Nah, we were just talking about some family stuff.
特に緊急の要件でもないから気にしないで。
Yeah.
朝ごはん食べに行こっか。アストラル使いの連続行方不明。そんなことが起きてるなんて。
Yeah, if you could say that again. Yeah, Dad doesn't seem to have any idea what's going on. There's no proof that all these incidents are connected, but either way, it doesn't paint a pretty picture.
私たちも何かした方がいいのかな。
I mean, eventually, probably, but for now, we need to kind of stay focused. No, he hasn't given us any new orders, and he said not to do anything until then.
でも本当に連続性があって何かしらの目的もあるのなら、綾瀬先輩をもう一度狙う可能性は高いよね。
Yeah, exactly. Probably. We can't really afford to just turn a blind eye. But honestly, I'm a bit confused. Playing the waiting game usually isn't the SDF style.
むしろ奇襲する側だもんね、私たちって。
Well, I mean, if we don't have a target, what good is a raid? I mean, we just aren't capable of doing something right now. They don't even train us how to bodyguard. Oh well, not like racking our brains about this is gonna do any good. Our mission is still the same. We protect Mitsukaze-san and secure access to the Abe's database.
了解。あ、でも声優発表祭はどうするの？
Oh, okay, that could be a problem. The expo, what?
サトルくんはまだ聞いてない？声優発表祭について。
Evidently not.
私も千咲ちゃんに聞いたばっかりなんだけど、声優発表祭っていうのはつまり文化祭みたいなものなんだって。
Interesting. That sounds like a pretty cool thing, but like it's gonna be really stressful for us. A school festival. Wait, that might not be good for us.
今更説明する必要もないと思いますが、声優発表祭が今年も行われます。特に変更点はなく、昨年と同じような、いわゆる文化祭のようなものです。出し物も昨年と同じく届け出制ですから、何か企画している人は申請を早めにしておくように。
Okay, so this is kind of nice. It's all voluntary, so like it's not going to be those things where like you have to do something.
そして、準備を怠らないようにしてください。
Sounds fun though.
発表祭について何か質問はありますか？
Yes, I do.
何ですか、有原くん。
Are we allowed to invite non-school affiliated people to come and enjoy the fair?
はい、呼べます。何の問題もありません。見学希望の一般の方にも開放されますから。
That is a worry though.
有原くんは初めてですから、改めて説明しましょう。声優発表祭はその名の通り、アストラルの研究発表の場でもあるんです。
That's cool though. I do like the premise of it. It's really interesting.
研究成果を披露することもそうですが、申請して認められれば、能力を使った出し物もできますよ。
Do you have any examples?
そんなに難しい話ではありません。昨年は確か、
炎の能力者がフランクフルトを焼いたりしてたね。
Oh, that's kind of cute.
あと人形にダンスさせてる人もいたっけ？
他にもかき氷とかもあったよな。
ああ、季節外れで全然売れてなかったあれか。凍らせる水を能力で名水とか澄んだ水にしてたんだっけか？
Yeah, so it really sounds like it's like a super powered version of a very normal school festival.
実は結構うまかったんだけどな。
そうですね。まあそのように危険のない範囲で能力を使うことを推奨しています。
Alright. Wow, encouraged even.
この発表祭はアストラルを身近に感じてもらい、可能性や便利さを実感してもらう場でもありますから、クラス単位で出し物をする必要はありません。可能であればよりたくさんのアストラル使いによる出し物がある方が好ましいですからね。
I get ya, that makes sense.
それにこれにはアストラル技術に期待している企業の人も来ます。就職を希望する学生にとってはアピールをする場となります。ですから有原くんも真面目に考えてみてください。
Okay.
必ずしもアストラルを絡めなければ認められないわけでもありませんから、安心してください。
能力を使わず普通に作ったたこ焼きとかも売ってるし、舞台で発表するのは普通の方が多いんじゃないか？
Alright, alright.
俺、今年はバンドでも組もうかな。
出し物は何もせず楽しむだけというのも構いません。 学院の本音としては、できれば何かしてほしいですが、いろいろな楽しみ方ができるのが声優発表祭です。有原くんもやりたいことがあれば遠慮なく申請してください。ただし、危険なことはダメですからね。
I could already think of some fun things to do. It'd be fun to work with the girls and do something like together. Alright, I will. I think I pretty much understand what this fair is about now. I love the idea behind it, but it poses a bit of a problem for us, mainly because the campus will be open to the public. There will be tons of people entering and leaving. That's not good. It hasn't been long since their initial failed attempt. I'm not sure they'd want to plan another attack this soon, but in the event they do, this fair would provide the perfect opportunity for them.
それから、三笠さん。
はい。
発表祭のことで少し相談がありますから、後で時間をもらえますか？
わかりました。
I wonder what she wants to talk about with Mitsukasa-san. Actually, I keep forgetting that she's the student council president. She probably has management and scheduling stuff to discuss with her. I know this sounds kind of selfish, but I almost wish they could just cancel the thing altogether. Well, either way, I should talk about it with her. Yeah, Ayase, I'm sure, is gonna be super thrilled. Lunch break is here, and I'm in front of the president's room and knock on the door.
はい、どうぞ。開いていますよ。
Okay. Hey, Mitsukasa-san. Just kind of wanted to talk to you about something.
有原くん。
Oh, sorry. Am I disturbing you?
邪魔というほどでは。ですが、もう少しだけ待ってもらえますか？すぐに済みますから。
Okay.
ありがとう。とにかく、そういうことです。発表祭では、できれば何かお願いしたいと考えています。もちろん、当日は警備にも気を配ります。来てくださる方には迷惑だとは思いますが、手荷物検査を行う手はずになっています。犯人も捕まっていますし、あれ以来特に怪しいことも起きていませんから。一度考えてみてもらえませんか？
わかりました。発表祭については考えておきます。決まればすぐに申請をします。
ありがとう。よろしくお願いします。相談したいことがあれば、いつでも来てください。
I like how she said, like, oh, I'll think about it and turn in my application. It's like, yeah, I'll turn in my application. I guess the thinking about it is more like, I'll think about what I'll want to do.
はい。ありがとうございます。
待たせてしまって申し訳ありません。話は終わりましたから。それでは、私はこれで。
Bye.
お疲れ様です。
After waiting for the door to shut, I turn around to Mitsukasa-san. Do you want me to lock it?
お願いします。
The moment I switch the lock, she heaves a long, weary sigh.
やっぱりダメか。
You know what's really sad? I came in here hoping we wouldn't. Are you talking about the fair?
もしかしたら今年はサボれるかと思ったのに。やっぱり逃げられないか。
She's like, dang it. Isn't participation supposed to be voluntary?
普通はそうなんだけどね。私の場合は立場もあるから。
Right. You mean your position student council president?
あ、それは違う。私の場合、学生会長は箔をつけるための肩書きだけだから。
Oh, wow. How so?
取材を受けるとき、学生会長って肩書きがあると、そこはかとなくいい感じでしょ？
Oh, okay. You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. I think I hadn't thought about it that way. Ah, I see. That makes perfect sense.
声優発表祭みたいな学院のイベントは全部執行部が中心で運営してくれてるの。あくまで私は学院の看板ってだけ。
Right. Huh, didn't know that. I was kind of wondering what all these cardboard boxes were doing here. But if there's an executive committee unaffiliated with the student council that does all the work, then it makes sense.
参加して宣伝しないと看板の意味がないでしょ？
Right.
それで去年みたいに頼めないかって分かってはいたんだけど、実際に言われるとやっぱり面倒。
What'd you do last year?
ライブ、舞台で歌ったの。
Oh, that sounds cute.
まあライブといっても持ち歌があるわけじゃないんだけど。
Did you sing that song you sing in the school ad video?
あの1曲と、他は普通の流行ってる歌をカラオケで3曲ほど。30分かからなくて、拘束時間が短くて済むと思ったんだけど。 実際にやってみるとリハやらなんやらで結局面倒で、その上すっごく恥ずかしかった。
Oh, I'm sorry. Singing in front of a big crowd was that bad?
というより会場のノリが。みんなノリが良くて、反応が寂しいよりはいいんだけどね。
Performance isn't for everybody. I mean, it's one of those things where like a lot of us can like look and be kind of like jealous of like people who are make it big, social media, singers, actors, all that stuff. But I think a lot of us would be shocked at just how tedious, hardworking, and just like draining those kinds of careers are. Yeah, sure, those people become famous and get lots of money and brand deals and get a lot of things. Like a lot of their life gets paid for them and is pretty nice, but they have to work hard for it, and there's a lot of downsides. It's one of those things where like it's like I want this channel to grow, obviously, but I also kind of like it not being super big because I know that the bigger it gets, the less, personable it becomes. And I hear a lot of big YouTubers talk about how they miss some of the old days, and so I'm trying to enjoy them now, which is again why I make content I want to make. Sure, I have input from you all, and that's really wonderful to hear, but like I also just make what I want to. I don't chase algorithms. I don't try and optimize myself to be able to be the best in whatever. I just want to make what I want to make, and if I'm successful with that, then awesome. But I wouldn't want it forced on me like this.
その分こっちもノリよく、それこそアイドルみたいに振る舞わないといけないから。こんにちは、みんな元気ですか？なんて言った瞬間、あ、私何してるんだろうとかね、思い出しただけでも。
Alright, Muffin, where's an emergency muffin? I can tell she's reliving that experience. Her face is bright red and she's writhing around in agitation. I almost said agonation. I was like, that's not a word. Stop trying to say it.
どうしても何かやらなきゃいけないのなら、せめて恥ずかしくないものにしたい。有原くんは？先生にいろいろ聞いてたけど、何かするつもりなの？
Well, not out of any interest in performing. I actually came here to talk about that. If those people are planning to try again, this fair is going to be a prime opportunity for them.
そういえば、その後何か進展はあった？
Disturbingly little. Well, we're still trying to piece things together, so I can't tell you anything as of this moment.
そっか。
Sorry, I know we should be doing better.
別に責めてるわけじゃないってば。でもそれなら、あんまり目立つ行動を取らない方がいいの？
I don't know if that's going to be doable with your position. It's more about we want to do something we can control. Ideally, you'd stay in your room through the entirety, but I know that's not feasible.
ごめん、それはちょっと難しい。先生からも直々に言われちゃったし、普段の仕事を任せてる分、やることやって私も役目を果たす必要があると思うの。
Yeah, so there's no way.
どうしても。
I can tell she's dead serious, and the firmness in her tone suggests that I'm not going to convince her otherwise. You know, you have a surprisingly strong sense of responsibility.
意外とって何よ、意外とって。
Well, you don't seem very fond of it. Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate anything.
まあいいけど。
Just a hypothetical, but would you be in favor of forcing the school to call off the fair?
それはあんまり。楽しみにしてる人も多いから。それに、学院の一存だけでは中止にもできないと思う。
How come? It's their event, isn't it?
この学院にはスポンサーがついてるの。アストラル技術を活用してる企業が。
Right, yeah, that would do it. Yeah, I remember hearing that. Ah, I see what you mean. Those companies rely on the fair to showcase their astral tech.
そういうこと。だからこそ、人を集めるためにも、学院の広告塔である私にイベントの参加をさせたいわけ。
This school really is more like a business. Right.
あ、一応伝えておくけど、寮も人の出入りがあるわよ。
Oh, so hiding in your room wouldn't even do any good. What for?
食堂が開放されるの。それに、家族を自分の部屋に入れたりすることも許可されてるから。
Ah, okay. All in all, that might be a good thing for us. Back when they initially attacked Mitsukaze-san, they waited until she was alone, and it didn't seem like they were after her life. All that would suggest that our best course of action is to keep her in crowds during the fair, but I'm still not sure.
とにかく、心配してくれてるのは嬉しいけど、閉じこもるのはなしの方向でお願い。
She's being pretty adamant about it, so I guess I'll give up on that idea. We wouldn't be able to keep her completely isolated anyway. Alright. I'll help you with whatever you're going to do for the fair. That'll allow me to stick with you during most of it.
え、いいの？ありがとう、助かる。
Oh, please, no. Yeah, I know you're smirking on the inside, like, ha, I'll just make him do all the work. This is a piece of cake.
気のせい、気のせい。
No. Well, any idea what you want to do?
まったく、まだ何も。ちなみに、手伝ってくれる有原くんの立場から何かある？これだけはやめておいてほしいこととか。
Nothing concrete. I just want to avoid placing you in situations where you're alone. I'll try to be with you as much as I can, but I need to be able to know where you are at all times otherwise. I know I'll probably have other work to do if I'm helping her, so I'm honestly not sure how much of the time I'll be able to stay with her.
とすると、人を増やして、みんなで出し物をしてみてもいいのかも。
That's a good idea. Yeah, that'd make the job a lot easier. If we have more of our friends there, she'll never have to be alone. Someone will be able to notice immediately if she disappears.
仕方ないわね。有原くんがそこまで言うのなら仕方ないわよね。
Uh-huh.
みんなで協力。友情って素晴らしい。
You mean we'll do work? Man, it couldn't be more obvious when you're really thinking. More people means less work for me.
気のせい、気のせい。どうですか？声優発表祭ではみんなで何かしませんか？
共同で出し物か。
Hey, Hazuki.
特に予定はないから僕は喜んで手伝うけど。でもどうしたの？三笠さん、去年はライブをしてたよね。
ライブもいいですけど、みんなで一緒に何かを成し遂げる。それこそがとっても素敵なことだと思うんです。
Like, now that we know the real her, it's like she's such a PR sayer. It's amazing. She smiles, eyes sparkling. Is it just my bias that makes me think she's faking that 100%?
素晴らしい。感動したぞ。
はい。
そうだな。みんなで協力して一つのことを成し遂げる。それはとても素敵だ。そういうことなら私も一緒にさせてほしい。
よかったです。喜んでもらえて。
Ayase, your mask is cracking.
去年は見学しているだけだったが、今年は何かしようと考えていたところだったんだ。能力の使い方も上達したことだしな。
Have you been practicing?
一緒に頑張ろう。
ごめんなさい。頑張りましょうね。
なぜ謝るんだ？
いえ、特に理由はありませんが、でもごめんなさい。
Nijoan-san genuinely thinks this is a superb idea. I'm guessing her pure joy-filled reaction is what's causing Mitsukasa-san to apologize. She feels guilty.
一緒にいるってことは、サトルも手伝うんだよね。
Oh yeah. Yeah, I am. What about the rest of you guys?
お姉さんも一緒でいいの？そりゃ、誘ってもらえるのは嬉しいんだけど、浮いてない？
Grandma, come on, you're not that old.
それに、私の能力って人を楽しませたりするのは難しいと思うしね。
I don't know. I think it just needs some creative application.
私も同じです。目立つ能力じゃありませんから。そういうことを言い出したら、私なんてアストラル使いですらないんだけど。そんなことは気にしないでいいですよ。全員が能力者である必要はありません。
I mean, heck, we could just do a normal stall, too.
だいたい能力云々の話をするなら僕だってそうだよ。
能力を使うことではなく、みんなで協力することに意味があるんだ。
みんなで一緒にか。そういうことでしたら、私でよければお手伝いさせてください。ななみちゃんも一緒にやろうよ。そうだね。せっかく声をかけてもらったんだから、お手伝いさせてもらいます。でも、能力は生かした出し物の方がいいですよ。せっかく先輩たちが一緒にやるんです。
Gotcha. So we have magnetism, water manipulation, force field creation, right? Because that's Mayu was able to like freeze us. I could think of a couple things. We could try what if we did like a water sculpture of some kind? That could be really interesting.
ド派手な感じで話題をかっさらっちゃいましょ
いいんじゃないかな。一般の人はアストラル能力を期待して発表祭に来るんだから。適材適所ってことで。
What do you say, senpai?
みんなで能力を組み合わせて他にはないもの。発表祭って大抵は個人の能力を披露することが多かったけど、複数の能力となると面白い研究対象だ。
This can't be the first time they've thought about combining powers, though, right? Like, maybe it's just not common, but it surely has happened before.
そう考えると選択肢が結構あって悩むね。ワクワクしちゃうね。興味深いかも。わかった。お姉さんにお任せあれ。私の方からお願いするよ。手伝わせてください。
ありがとうございます。よろしくお願いします、式部先輩。
今まで参加した発表祭の中で今年が一番楽しみかも。誘ってくれてありがとう。
いえ、協力を仰いだのは私の方ですから。
Right, right. It's great to have you on board, senpai.
こちらこそよろしくお願いします。
話はまとまったけど、あんまり悠長に構えてられないよね。準備も必要なんだから。
とりあえず何をするかは各自で考えて、後日持ち寄って話し合いましょうか。
That's probably the best thing we've got going for us, but I wouldn't be surprised if we all show up at night like no ideas.
そうだな。週末に一度話し合おうか。
それじゃあ週末までにそれぞれ自分の案をまとめておくってことで。
Alright.
何がいいかな。これだけ人数がいると確かにいろいろできそうだしね。
いい意味で思い出の残るものにはしたいな。
Not a tall order or anything.
舞台で何か実演を。いや、別に舞台にこだわらなくてもいいのか。むしろ舞台じゃない方が制約も少ないし。
While everyone's busy shooting out ideas, I feel a tug on my sleeve.
サトルくん。
Yeah, Nanami?
ちょっと話があるんだけど。
Okay.
発表祭、本当にいいの？みんなでっていうのはともかく、そもそも出し物なんてしても。
No, but I already went over this. I know what you're trying to say, but I already asked Mitsukazu-san. She said there's no other way. She also told me the dorms would be open during the fair and parents can enter their kids' dorm rooms and stuff.
そうなんだ。それはちょっとまずいね。
Exactly. Yeah, so taking that into consideration, I came to the conclusion that it'd be safer to have her in a crowd with us for the fair. What do you think?
まあ、向こうの目的が連れ去ることなら効果はあるかも。でも、綾瀬先輩に簡単に近づけるようにしちゃ意味がないよね。
Yeah, which is why we need to plan this out meticulously. We'll have to reject anything that could put Mitsukazu-san's safety in jeopardy. I'll meet up with Mitsukazu-san and discuss everything beforehand. First things first, though, I need to contact Dad about this.
あ、そうだ。発表祭が一般にも開放されるのなら、うちから応援を頼めるんじゃないかな。
I hadn't even thought of that. Huh, that's a good idea. It's gonna depend on if we have anyone available, though.
いっつも人手不足だもんね。
Well, I'll bring it up to him and see what he thinks. I had not even considered that.
声優発表祭か。
Sorry, I didn't inform you sooner. I literally only learned of it today.
いや、学院のイベントに関してはこちらでも把握しておくべきだった。俺の落ち度だな。すまん。
The difficult part is figuring out what to do with Mitsukazu-san. There's a very real possibility the culprits will strike again, and at this festival, to try to get their revenge for last time's failure. And I'm honestly worried that if it comes to that, Nanami and I won't be able to handle them on our own.
それで、当日に応援を回してもらうことは可能ですか？
簡単ではないが、なんとか調整はしよう。
Dice.
本当ですか？ありがたいです。
できる限りのことはする。だが、分かっていると思うが、どこまでできるか。
Even just one other pair of eyes could be helpful, especially because they could go incognito.
まさか隊員全員を投入なんてことはできないんだから。
Well, obviously.
少しでも体制が強化されるなら、 助かります。
What Nanami said.
普通の学生であるお前が学院の警備体制について口を挟むのも変だからな。
ちなみに、いっそ中止にさせるっていうのは？
Probably not. I've heard that the Astral tech companies and school investors are heavily involved in the affair.
そういう事情が絡むと簡単にはいかないだろうな。脅迫状でも送って強引な方法もなくはないが、そうなると痕跡が残る。警察にも根回しがいるだろう。
Right.
俺の領分を超えるな。さすがに上にも仰がないとまずい。だが応じるかどうか。ともかく掛け合ってはみるが、お前たちは発表祭が開催されることを前提に動いてくれ。
It's probably for the best this way anyway. If anything, it might be an opportunity for us to learn more. But I don't like the idea of using her as bait. But it's an approach we can take, assuming that we don't have any other options. Copy that. Our next meeting is on the weekend. We're going to discuss what to do then.
わかった。何かあればすぐに連絡を入れろよ。レビー6。
Yes.
中止が無理となると、安全な出し物か。
Right. We want something that'll put as much distance as possible between Mitsukaze-san and the fair attendees. Also, it needs to be something where every one of us is doing something constantly. That'll allow us to keep an eye on her at all times. Can you think of anything that fits that criteria?
そうだね。演劇なんかだと全員がいなくちゃ成り立たないでしょ？
Mitsukaze-san probably wouldn't enjoy that, but there's definitely some that has merit for sure. Maybe, but he's spending more time behind curtains than on stage.
そっか。となると、模擬店とかの方がいいのかな？
Pretty vanilla idea, and the trouble with that is going to be just like hustle and bustle. It would be pretty easy for somebody to get close without us noticing. Well, there's going to be definite cons of whatever we end up deciding on. Let's try coming up with a few more ideas.
了解。
Alright.
リ
Interesting.
ドルジョーカー
Let's try and have fun too while we're at it.
ということで、出し物について考えてきた？
Alright, I think we're going to go ahead and end here for today. Not a whole lot happened per se, but we've just had some basic development. We're going to be spending some time doing some of these, like, fair ideas, and I'm going to have to see what we end up doing. Again, I don't really know if we are on a set path or not yet. It'll kind of tell me. When I save, it tells me, like right now it says the common route when I save. So like eventually when I do switch gears onto a path, I have a feeling that I'm going to get an indication of some kind when that happens. But we'll see. Regardless of that, I think this will be fun. I mean, it's kind of cool because we're going through the tropes that you get for like school-based stories in anime and visual novels, but with the Astral like lens on it, it does make it a lot more interesting. And it's not simply like, oh, we're just having the school festival now. It's like, oh, we're having a school festival and people are going to probably try and kidnap somebody. Let's try and do it in a way that doesn't get us kidnapped. Like, it's a fun approach to the very tropey idea. And I'm always a big fan of that. Like, tropes work for a reason. There's something fun and enchanting about them. They tend to be overused, absolutely, but that's because they work and they're fun. So I like it when we get to see these tropes, but through a separate lens and a creative application. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But of the ideas that were tossed up at Nanami, I like the idea of the play the most. Like, I'll think about some more. Maybe I'll have an idea that I'll come to next session, like the next video we do, and kind of maybe what I would consider bringing to the group if I were there. Because I love, like, that's how I play these games. I insert myself into the roles of either the main character or as a, like, an auxiliary friend, like somebody who happens to be a part of the same friend group who just tends to be quiet most of the time. I don't know. It's just the way I like to, it's how I read books too. Like when I read a book, I always like imagine that I'm there somehow, even if it's not meaningful or anything. It's just like, I love that feeling of being like you're part of the world, part of why I love stories like this so much. So I'm excited to be able to share that with you. But anyway, thank you so much for your support, for being here and sticking it out to the end, especially at the end of my rant. I'm sure most people skip all this, so thank you for sticking around and just being a supporter in general. It means the world to me. You're a lab member, and I'm very happy to have you be a part of this community. And I'm really especially thankful to the patrons. Like, I say it every time, but I really owe it to them. Like I put their names up here because I want them to feel like they have, like, their lifeblood is part of the channel. And that's really what it is. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you just for being here. Each and every one of you means the world to me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you have a great start to your weekend. And if you're in the United States, like we're going to be this is the weekend for Independence Day, 4th of July celebration. So hopefully you enjoy that. But if you're not in the United States, I hope you have a fantastic weekend, that it's enjoyable for you, and that we get to sail further into the summer enjoying ourselves. So until the next video, watch me up. See me in next. I'll see you there.